What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. First of all, to everyone who stopped by the watch party last night, thanks so much for coming by, and it was great to see some of you after so long. Reminder, we do a live watch party here at the channel if you want to follow along. And again, if you did come by, and to a lot of you I haven't seen in, wow, like a quarter of a year, it was awesome to see you guys. I can't wait to watch the rest of the season. Some of you have been asking about what's going on here at the channel, and I just want to say completely forthcoming that I myself am trying to pull Moon Knight and pull a double life and record a ton of music and get a record out by fall, and it has been such a time sink, so much more than I thought I would have to commit. And so while this isn't any excuses or an apology here at the channel, I know that I've been taking more days off than I normally do, and we're going to be back to 2 days here as I finally wrapped on a large part of the early recording. That being said, I will have a Moon Knight episode 1 theory video coming out either later tonight or tomorrow, and it's a major one as it pertains to Thor Love and Thunder, maybe even a theory as to why we don't have a trailer yet. In the meantime, we've got to talk about the story evolving quite a bit over the last 24 hours as it pertains to Disney Plus censoring an already published episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier in a major way, and the day before they dropped what's maybe the most violent episode ever, Moon Knight episode 1, on the channel. It's extremely bizarre, but we have an update now. I want to go over it because I'm sure some of you were wondering why they did this. They do have a history of altering scenes after they've been published. That's something they've done, but that's not the case here. We'll talk about where this is coming from, who's saying it, why we can trust him, and his update about what actually happened over on Disney Plus. But first, if you could grab that subscribe button to keep up with our daily Marvel content and be entered to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. I also want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video. That's Street Level Hero, SLHLA.com. You guys have been asking for years now where I get all the comics and stuff in my collection. They are my go-to for exclusive variant comics. In fact, they have exclusive variant comics and new releases every Tuesday and Thursday, and you can only get those variants there. So save 10% every time you shop there by using the code EVERYTHINGALWAYS. Okay, so this story broke yesterday by thedirect.com. They've been on the scene for a couple of years now. They are great when it comes to reporting the sort of industry insider news. They credited a Reddit user named Moon and Moulin for noticing that Disney had actually changed certain scenes in an episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and almost a year after it's been published. As you can see here from the photos they presented, the original seems a lot more violent and visceral, the same way John Walker killing that guy with the shield had blood, the way the series intended. What the posted now was just him laying in the same place, but with his eyes closed, so a lot less violent. And now in the second shot, you can clearly see here the javelin that's in the original is effects. You can see it in the frame, but in this new version, that javelin doesn't hit the shoulder. That's not any more violent than anything else we saw in that series. The reason has now been brought to the attention of the world via the Twitter of the senior writer over at The Hollywood Reporter, who, while not making this an official report at his editorial, came out and said that those are changes, but apparently, according to his sources, this was a software control issue, which maybe one of you knows exactly what that means and can leave it in the comments, and that this recently published the wrong version of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now, so doing diligence as I did, when I started this video, which was about an hour and a half ago, and at the point of now editing it in its final form and about to bounce it, I have checked Disney Plus twice. There's been no official word from Marvel, and right now, the edited scenes are still published on Disney Plus, but this senior editor also seemed to imply that they were going to change it back. Marvel Studios has in the past, in both conjunction with Sony now on Spider-Man No Way Home, but also on Disney Plus with what happened with the Scarlet Witch post-credit scene, they've gone in after the fact and changed special effects, updated things because they didn't like the way they looked, or maybe for reasons beyond what we know right now, making sure that certain details were in place for upcoming scenes in Multiverse of Madness. With Andrew Garfield, they simply updated his CGI to look much better. Now, in lieu of not having an official word from Marvel and the fact that they haven't updated it, I want to point something out. It is just these scenes that are changed. The rest of the picture lock on this episode seems to be exactly the same. Without a source for me to compare it to, it seems that nothing else has changed, and the fact that this one Redditor noticed just these two scenes and not anything else pretty much confirms it's just those scenes. In the common sense of editing video, if you've ever done that sort of thing, when something's picture locked, it would be odd for software to edit out two specific scenes. So in case they do not get reverted and Marvel Studios Studios does not have an official word. My theory standing, if they leave it this way, if this is an intended change and they're meaning to do this on purpose, is that they simply, with their most recent parental update controls, would want Falcon and the Winter Soldier to squarely land on the side of being friendly, and maybe it was just this one scene, eyes open, blood everywhere after he's been shot point blank, that was just a little too violent. The one with the javelin, I have no idea. That's just my pervading theory. In case somehow this industry insider is wrong, there's no official comment and they leave it this way, and this is an intended change. Maybe they just needed to clean those two scenes up for whatever reason. You guys have asked me about my opinion on this, about them changing CGI after something's released, and I've had the same stance on this since the beginning. If it's in close proximity to when something comes out, and if it's in an effort to make CGI better, I'm for it. To be totally honest, I wouldn't have a problem if somebody went back and changed the CGI now on that final Black Panther scene when Killmonger and Black Panther fight each other. I love that movie, but the CGI in that final battle in the third act is absolutely regrettable, and we have the technology money. That's a classic. Go back in there and fix that. Please, Disney, you have unlimited money. It would be a great upgrade, but just holding towards the same idea and keeping it constant, I don't want people to do that. George Lucas set a really bad precedent, changing classics after decades. Once your art is out there, speaking from an artist's point of view, you need to just leave it. We probably will not get an official word from Marvel if this is a mistake. They will simply change it back. As the senior editor at Hollywood Reporter has said, no harm, no foul. If they do leave it this way, guys, I think it's because they want to make sure wherever the violence line was for them in the parental controls, it stays on the completely family friendly. I know I just set my pin if you're wondering what I'm talking about. They added the Netflix shows that are super violent, like The Punisher and even Daredevil, and they wanted to make sure that you had parental control pins set, so if something falls under that violence subcategory, your kids won't be able to get to it, which is something you'd want them to do anyway, because we want those Netflix shows, and I want super violent episodes like Moon Knight last night, but I also want kids to be able to get into Marvel, because that's the future blood of this fandom, and that's what's going to drive Marvel in the future, and that's why they're putting out shows like Miss Marvel. So it's all good, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below on changing CGI, and if you think this is intended or not. I don't want to discount the senior editor at the Hollywood Reporter. If anyone would know, he would, but also the fact that Marvel just did that and it's still up right now, maybe you agree with my theory. Either way, let's talk about the giveaway stuff quickly before I let you go. All right, we're still giving away PlayStation 5s en masse all the way up to 1 million subscribers. Every 20,000. Daniel Clay was the winner of the last one. His PlayStation 5 just went out. Our next one will be at 960,000 subscribers, and we are, I think, a quarter of the way there. We're pushing. So if you want to be entered to win, all you have to do, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. That'll automatically enter you to win, and because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on, especially these days because YouTube's algorithm has gotten crazy. All the channels I watch the most, I never see them on my homepage. I don't know why YouTube is pushing me channels I have never watched before over the ones I prefer to watch, but hey, that's YouTube, so hit that button and all notifications turned on. If you care. If you don't, no worries. And if you liked today's video, I'd appreciate you hitting the like button, but if you didn't, don't worry. And if you did like it and you don't hit the like button, I don't care either. Either way, just thanks for hanging out. My name is Michael Roman. You can find me over on Instagram and Twitter at @I'mFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, wherever you listen to original music under the name Allfires. I am trying so hard, and I have no idea why, to break into the music industry, but whatever. it's the biggest whatever of all time. All right, I love you guys. I will see you here back at the channel tomorrow or later tonight, and especially next week for the watch party for episode 2 of Moon Knight. All right, peace.